The GMODIST. More GMODISM.
Well, hello, you are most welcome to the GMODIST channel, and it's finally time to pitch the Fafnir class versus the Gimle class, the Mark 1s. So this is the Fafnir, the newly built ship, and you know it can be pretty powerful, but it depends on the enemy. And funnily enough, of course, it's supposed to be able to beat the Gimle Mk1, but after seeing it fight the Drakenslang Mark II for the first time, I'm not so sure it can beat the Gimle, but we're gonna find out this time if it even can beat the Gimle. So, you know the ships, but let me just show you a little quick overview. The Gimle is Oh yeah, right. After the some game update, the Gimle Mk1 is actually too expensive. Well, no fault of mine, but the firepower is almost 17,000. The firepower of the Gimle Mk1 is actually higher than the Mark III. Armor cost of 40%, mainly a cram ship. And for the Fafnir, we have 2.2 million as well. We have a firepower of 1100, so a lot less, and it's actually most missiles, but it's supposed to be most APS and laser, but we didn't end up with that combination because I don't know if you can see that, but I'll show you in a second. The Fafnir is a lot smaller. Yeah. Let's get the battle going. The Fafnir does have a fire delay. Oh, it missed its first shot of plasma. Well. Oh, it missed 3 of them? Depressing. That's like charged plasma, it'll only fire a couple of rounds. By the way, if the sound sounds a little bit different this time, I have another microphone. It seems I got it to work again. My HyperX Quadcast. It seems it may be working again with a new cable. Hopefully. If it stops working again, you won't see this video, then it will be destroyed, I think. Or it will be a weird voiceover, but we're not having that right now at least. Okay, the Fafnir is not in the lead. So one issue for the Fafnir class is that it does have Seawiz cannons, but they only really take out the first blast, right? Oh, bam, look at that. That's one of our main guns. Fafnir is at 79% and the Gimle class is at 98. Okay, so our Heshgan and laser tries to target on the turrets a little bit there. That's nice at least. We are definitely experiencing some lag, but not so much that the OBS recording doesn't manage to put up with our stuff. The really redundant thing with the Gimle class here is if you pause the game here, you can see we do have shields here. They're pretty strong. And then they are also EMP protected, the shields, so you can't kill them with EMP just. But you can see that the guns are like really drilling. And they can drill in a bit to the 3D Tetris cram cannons and still not make them completely out of function. That's the extreme redundancy with 3D cram Tetris. If you set it up the right way, they can be darn redundant. So you can even drill a hole in the turret and it still manages to fire. Well, of course, at a limited firepower. But if it still fires, that's good. Oh, we have gotten into close combat. Oh, and the Gimle class also has really strong defenses against missiles and the like. So you can see a lot of these incendiary missiles actually don't get through to the Gimle class. Man, Gimle Mk1 is at like 96% and the Fafnir is at 90%. And already You can see this rearmost aft sandblaster is already killed, which was one of the main guns, and here the big scary laser is drilling on the other main gun. Look at that. Oof. Oh no. Well, it still fires. Oh, the lasers came back there. So there we have the burst gun firing on the cram, and actually took it out, but then they come another one just after it, and oh my, we need to look at this. It detonated. I saw the AI core semi-exposed. There it is. So here we have the AI core down here is semi-exposed, but not damaged yet. Well, I got my hopes high before recording a previous battle, if you did see that, but that's on the GMODISM main channel. But in any, if it came out, it depends if you came from the battle on GMODISM channel or if you already were subscribed to GMODIST channel. Anyways, so I won't mention too much about that, but oh no, our laser turret is gone. Well, look at that. The Gimle class is just so much more redundant, and there you could see the burst flak taking out the cram shell, but of course there comes a new cram shell. It just has too little DPS to be able to survive. And it looks like our Seawiz guns are down as well, so we only have those interceptors targeting the cram, and they are just not enough taking out the cram shells. Well, that is a fact. Yeah, I feel the Fafnir class is really vulnerable against the cram shell design. I honestly don't think it can beat many cram shells design. Maybe if you have a cram cannon with very slow firing crams that are pretty high. Oh bam, turret gone. Well, because these burst flaks are pretty high damage, but they fire very rarely. So they're of course meant against doom crams, but it's too little of them to, you know, take out them shells incoming consistently. Oh well. Well, the battle is progressing in one direction. Of course, it's gonna be best of 3. Oh, look at that. There is a heat decoy at one of the paddles, and that's where the laser aimed for some time there. Look, it aims at... So when the laser spasses out, it kind of aims for the heat decoy on the spin block. Isn't that very funny? Yep. Well, the first win, it's gonna go to the Gimle Mk1. The Gimle Mk3 has a lower damage. I wonder if it will do better against the Gimle Mk3. We'll see. Down to 66 percentages. Yeah. We are despawning pretty soon. It's just no way we're having the enough damage output to take out all of those cram cannons. And the Gimle class is still at 95 percentages. Man, the Gimle Mk1, it's a pretty sturdy ship, you know? And while the Gimle Mk3 is upgraded, it does actually perform a little worse against some targets. since the Gimle Mk1's cram shells are much harder to shoot down, and they are more accurate, but it also does less damage. It does less damage than the Mark II, or I mean Mark III. The Mark II is not built by me, as you'll know. But in any case, what can we say? It is what it is. But the Gimle Mk1 is, by the way, it's still the version we're gonna use in campaign, because the Gimle Mk3 has some additions and fixes to make it optimized more for tournament settings. So the Gimle Mk3 isn't actually in the second Shep Frontier fleet. I put it in the I think it's the Holy Metropolis Protector fleet. You know, I have my ships sorted not in what they are, but in what fleet they belong. Isn't that very nice? Each to their own sorting thing, I suppose. Well, let's get into another battle. Let's see if we get some different results. And I want to turn on color post-process because it looks much nicer when you do that. Okay, where are our combatants? I kind of want to see what happens here. Oh, there you could see interceptors coming. Bam! They can take out the main crams coming in there. But as like that burst, these burst flak guns absolutely nuke an incoming shell, but like one of them. Alright, and there we have another burst. Look at that. Oh, no. Apparently not. I don't know what they were aiming for. Maybe it was the... it's possible that was just the damaged diff guns on top instead. There we have a little... Oh. And here you can see these guys are probably shooting at incoming cram shells. Doing a pretty good job at that. Need to switch target fast here. They really clean up the space a little bit. Bam. Very nice. Very nice, very nice. But of course, the Fafnir is actually in the lead this time. Maybe it was just unlucky last time. I don't think so. I don't think it was just lucky. It can't dodge these crams. Look at that. Oh no, look, isn't the AI kind of here? Yes, the AI is kind of here. But no worries, the AI in particular didn't get killed. Here we have the absolute very strong thing against the Gimle. The broadside of frag. But it looked like a shell despawned. Maybe we have too many shells in the air right now. I have the default setting on maximum amount of shells. So it can happen that the shell like despawns mid-air, which isn't optimal. In my tests this hasn't been much of an issue, but maybe the Gimle is outputting a good bit of shells too, so maybe it becomes an issue here. Okay, so the sand blasters are targeting the cluster of the ram cannon. So if they can just hit at the right spots, it's holding on that focus for a really long time. The Gimle class has gained the lead again. Well done. I don't know if I should be sad, because honestly I kind of like the Gimle class a bit more, you know? It just, you know, I wanted to see if I could make a sandblaster that could beat the Gimle, the Fafnir. But it was a long time ago I started on that, so it's so outdated when it's finished now. Oh, look at that. Back here we have the we have things causing big fires when we target them. Oh, we actually have ammunition here in the after deck. So that can almost chain react. It's just very rare that people shoot on that, so it doesn't happen very often. All right. I kind of want to see. Whoops. Yep. I want to see the arqueballistas in action. Oh, it's so annoying when you try to lock onto shell. You think you're accurate, but there is another shell in that vicinity, so it doesn't lock on you. Like you have to turn on your HUD and lock onto. Is it there perhaps? I think it's the base of the shell that you need to lock onto. Oh bam, look at that. It went straight through. Of course it did. It's designed to do that. The only thing that's objectively better on the Gimle Mk1 is that the Arqueballista Indomitus upgrade is of course a superior upgrade. Okay. There we go. So I'm gonna use the lock on camera mode. Thankfully I have a numpad. The camera update. Oh, look at that. The dragons look really cute in black. Well, whatever. Where was I? So if you don't have a numpad, the camera update in front depth probably ruined your game experience. Because there is a lot of buttons to rebind. It's kind of a nice thing to have for most of the part when you learn to use it. Like now I have smoothening of the camera on, and I do just use the 4 and 5 on the numpad to lock on to the enemies. Like this, it's a very handy little mode. Great for making nice cinematic pans like this. Was basically impossible before. so that I like, but when you're playing the game and just trying to, I don't know, survive adventure mode, I wouldn't exactly say that the camera upgrade is an improvement. It just made it more complex, and the game is complex enough. Fafnir is at 90%, but it looks like it's in a bad place. Well, it's hard to know whose laser is whose, because like the Army of GMODISM style of continuous laser is red lasers. I wonder if we should have other colors of lasers when it comes to pulse lasers. I kind of imagine that the pulse laser would look cooler with a lower wavelength. So I'm thinking kind of like blue pulse laser or green pulse laser. I'm very inspired of like MechWarrior's universe when it comes to lasers. So yeah, those pulse lasers look really weird in MechWarrior though, but they're very unscientific, but I kind of like them, you know? I can't replicate them. The only thing that looks remotely similar is the continuous beam. Are we still targeting it with a laser back there? Fafnir is at 89%. Perhaps it will not manage to win this after all. It really tries to drill through the turret here, but it's like not choosing the best place to aim, really. Huh. It seems our laser is so damaged, it doesn't output very much damage anymore. There we have our heat missiles. I wonder if that did any substantial damage. Yeah, and only that. I wonder if our torpedoes actually reach the Gimle. I think they kind of don't reach it. Well, I guess we need to check out on the Fafnir class here. See what we are doing. I also kind of fear the range is a little bit too far now. I wonder what happened. I wonder if shells are despawning. They didn't despawn in my testing, but then I never tested them against the Gimle class, so... yeah. Wait. Was that our own missile? Oh no! So a IFF module is probably shot off. Oh, and there we have a nice burst. Bam! Hitting that Doom Crown shell. Did you see that? Pretty majestic. It's just... it's just we need a little bit more of those for it to be relevant, right? $91 versus 87. So the Fafnir class is still fighting well. Like, it didn't lose its main guns, so it seems to be able to still output some kind of damage. But I fear that the damage it deals is just too superficial at this range. They really need those incendiary missiles to actually land. If it can't do that, you know, the sandblasting is less effective. It kind of relies a little bit on things burning as well. Okay, we're drilling into an engine. What's the game speed anyways? It's like quarter to third speed. Yeah, it is definitely a bit gimped. And the Fafnir class is still at 87. Like, what lags? Oh, now it isn't anymore. 86. I bet that was a cramshell hit. The problem for the Fafnir here is that all of the cramshells are still kind of working. They are. Oh no. That turret isn't very happy. Oh. Looks like this barrel has gotten a trimming. That shell speed has to be abysmal now. Okay. Oh no, new cramshell coming in here. The front laser is trying to tackle that a little bit. Out of range. And ooh, just exploded to the side of this turret here. Didn't do that much probably, but these might. That's aiming right for the AI. Oh, 84% of this. The Gimle has a is it 6% lead? This round is much more even. This round is a lot more even. I kind of think the Gimle is still gonna win this one, but I can't say for certain. Because it's really taking a long time for it to to bring the Fafnir's health down. This is a real grind fest. Or drill fest from one side and slug fest from the other side. I guess that's the... Nice. The Gimle is much bigger, so it's much lower risk that any particular important area gets targeted. The Fafnir is really not set up to deal with cram shells very well. It's not evasive. I tried to make it a little bit evasive, but that just ended up making it slow. So we don't do that anymore. It just doesn't have enough CWIS. So yeah, it just can't deal with crams very well. Not evasive and not enough CWIS. Now we can see this sandblaster has really targeted a smart area, but now it just stopped targeting that. Well. And we have more cram shells coming out of there. Yeah, the damage is too superficial. I don't see this changing anytime soon. You can see in the meantime, the Fafnir has gone down 2% more. And the Gimle stays at 90%. So that is... it's most likely pretty decided. Oh. And that incendiary missile shoots at us. Oh, bam! Didn't nuke anything, but that was a bit scary. Those mortars are scary. '81 versus 89. Interesting. So the Gimle class has taken some damage then after all. Tiny bit. Is that like 0.5% or something? Probably. Yeah, it seems to output damage fine. None of the turrets are disabled. Welp. It feels like the Fafnir can deal well with a very specific type of enemy. And it's not at all as versatile as the Gimle class. I have... like, this design is not superior in any way, and well, honestly I kinda suspected that when I got halfway through the project and I realized this is gonna be a 1 million ship. How do I make it to 2 million ship? So okay, let's have a lot of heavy armor on it then, and slap like a lot of missiles all over it. Then it will be more expensive. So, you know, it really should be a 1 million ship, but then it would absolutely have no chance. Maybe 1 million is a good cost of having a tournament on, I don't know. Perhaps. Not more than 2 million, I think. We have done like these 2 million battles for like the past 2 years, so I feel like having a larger battle than this is also not nice for a tournament setting. You can see the game speed is like still a third. Like what the hell? I don't like that. I don't want to watch slow motion content. And the only way around that is to record the battle first with the in-game recorder, then speed it up later, and voice over after it's all recorded. And I don't know, I think that content is kind of much more boring, because if I'm gonna comment on a battle where I already know what's gonna happen, it's not gonna be the same type of like live commentary during the battle. I think that would be a worse type of content. But if you think that would be better, you can please tell me so. We could try it. Yeah, well, we can clearly see that none of the main damage dealing guns are online. We only have secondary guns. And of course, this is not the official battle in any kind, so we have less rigorous requirements here. So I'm just gonna end this battle here, because I'm pretty sure that the Gimle is gonna win this. But instead, we're gonna have a third battle, because I wanna see can 2 Fafnir class battleships defeat the Gimle? Or will the amount of shells in the air at the same time be so high that they'll just despawn and not reach the Gimle class? I think that would be a little bit more exciting, because the decoy crams are coming in from the Fafnir class. That's like the only thing coming in. The Gimle's lambs and interceptors are still cleaning up. Are still cleaning house. Oh, are you gonna hit? Yeah, okay, 1 shell. Yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. And here we are for the third battle. 2 Fafnir class battleships versus the Gimle Mk1. Let's see what happens. I removed the color correction, by the way. I feel we need every little bit of game speed is. Yes. I think, unsurprisingly, the amount of sub-objects and these paddles may be a bit of the culprit, but whatever. I wanna see. Like, will... Oh, look at that! A plasma hit here, isn't that pretty funny? Okay. The charged plasmas fire like 3 shells and then they're done for the match, basically. Here we got some more of them incoming. Let's see where they hit. Are you shooting underwater? Are you absolutely stupid? I mean... Oh, what? Oh yeah, it shot through the water, so it basically did no damage. Plasma isn't very effective against the Gimle, by the way. It's not plasma resistant in any way. I don't know if this can survive. Like, the new singularity is absolutely scary. So I don't know if it even can survive the singularity. That's an evil ship now. So now we just look... Oh my. What an absolute mess of things. Look at that. The Fafnir class is a two-sider, by the way, and the Gimle is a one-sider. The Fafnir actually has side switching when it gets too damaged. It kind of depends on what side the other ship is facing. Oh, look at that. They're trying to aim high. The Gimle class Mk1 has prefer low angles, so it can actually, like, the turrets can actually do mortar mode sometimes, which looks really stupid, but... Like, we're obviously in degraded mode, so I suppose that's why we're not seeing. But if we just follow... Oh no, never mind. I tried to lock onto the wrong shells here. Let's find them again manually. Let's see if they despawn. They don't. They actually made full contact here, these frag rods. The Fafnir classes are at 99%. I suspect the Gimle class will not have a good chance here. Oh, look at that! They're going for the radar decoy here in the back. Missile decoys are so good against missile-heavy designs. Because that means they'll either have to have laser-guided ones, and that's a vulnerability, or they have to have radar-guided, no, remote-guided ones, and that's not exactly great either, because like the Gimle has an ECM jammer, so it can jam them a bit. Yep, indeed. And jamming remote guided missiles makes them less accurate, so that means they can miss. And it requires a lot of general processing power to have remote guided missiles. I know the Fafnir class has a lot of remote guided missiles, and that's a big part of the budget. You can see we have actually processors here on the side of the missile. I made a little prefab that comes pre-installed with processors. Isn't this dragon very cute? I think it is. Well, we're having quarter speed of the game, so it's definitely slow motion. The lambs are doing what it can. Alright. I just can't imagine the Fafnir's losing here. It's two of them. They have... Individually, they have less firepower, of course, than the Gimle class, but together they have almost the double. Like, look at that. Here we have the remote-guided missiles. They are ECM jammed, yes, but they still hit something. And now we started a fire here back at this Arcoballista Invictus. That will definitely burn down. I think it's gonna burn into the APS parts, rendering it less useful. Or will it? Perhaps it won't. What is this? I think we are starting to see some visual glitches and stuff. I still haven't really seen if the sandblasters are like actually making contact. Since we are in degraded mode, it's a little bit hard to find them. Oh, there we have a shell. Oh, I could see it. Oh no. Yeah, locking onto shells. Let's see here. Oh, there we have one. And looking exactly at the base of the shell. Ah, okay, we're locked on. Nice. Thank you. So we're gonna see if this even goes here. And yeah. Seems to. And here we have the hash shell that aims where the laser aims. Yeah, they don't seem to be despawning. Not most of them, at least. Oh my, we are really flanking here, are we? One is gonna get into the Gimle's weak side here. That is gonna mean pretty much game over for the Gimle class. It's gonna desperately try to maneuver out of this. And these remote guided missiles, they are aiming at where we are aiming the aim point. So they're kind of shooting at the same position as the gun is trying to. Look at that. And I also wonder if we have torpedoes coming in here. Yeah, I think our torpedoes is gonna do a lot of damage, actually. You can see them being fired there in the background. I think they're fired in a pretty cool way. And the beautiful missile design is made by our AOG enlisted Kevin for the Missile Deco challenge thing. Or, well, it was the Trials Season 2, but, you know, he just made some extra cool looking designs, which is now part of the design board. Oh, fun! The interceptors on the Gimle class actually seems to be able to take out many of the torpedoes. Well, you look at that. That was removed for the Mark II because it was too expensive, since not very many did bring torpedoes. And that of course went for the sonar decoy. Yeah, we actually passed the Gimle's weak side, and during that time you can see that it has sandblasted, basically cut through here like a tin can. The Gimle class will definitely not survive this. I mean, it's outmatched by double the material and like almost double the firepower, so it's not strange. Gimle is still the better ship all in all, since it is able to defeat the Fafnir class. And it's more versatile. It's a lot more versatile. That's kind of what makes it an interesting ship to challenge if you're trying to make a battleship that's gonna be very good. Is that the Gimle does a lot of things at once, so while you can counter it, it's very specific and may like require some specific game knowledge or complex building strategies. The easiest way to counter the Gimle class is to be evasive, so you don't get hit by the cram shells, basically. Like the Drakenslang Mark III is a pretty evasive, just rarely gets hit actually. And that's a great strategy. Oh no. I wonder if one is gonna get into the other's crossfire here. I think... I'm not sure they are fail-safed. I think they're fail-safed against other ships, but they're not fail-safed against itself, because it's better that it shoots out a bit of its own hull than that the sandblasters stop shooting altogether because the barrel is too short or whatever. It's better that it actually shoots from the little stump that's left inside the turret, even if it damages the turret head. It's better, so that's why they're... I think they are... Yeah, it looks like it stopped shooting when it passed, so it's fail-safed against other vessels, but not itself. So we are only using turret turning limitations for that metric. Gimle is putting up a fight, that I must say. 80%, and the Gimle has no problems fighting at 80%. Hope the commanding officer had a good time drinking down below, because now the entire you know, the deck is gone. Navigation decks, I suppose that should be called, the top one. That is gone. Man, look at this. It's such a slow motion. All these missiles coming in here. Sandblasting happening. Lasers lacing. It's a pure slugfest, but it's a little bit slow for my taste. We're still kind of at quarter speed. I feel like the Fafnir team is at 95%, and the Gimle is at 78. It's gonna be ground down sooner or later. Look, a missile. A little torpedo is coming in. Ooh, looks like they have started to overwhelm the diff Zeus against torpedoes. Like these guns are actually diff guns against torpedoes, so that's pretty cool. Oh, and this is a little this is just a little anti-torpedo gun shooting at the torpedoes themselves. It does a lot, actually. Now all of these missiles come in again. Look at that. The Fafnir is kind of a little bit guilty of medium missile spam. That was the only way I could make it deal consistent damage, I suppose. Look at that. Are you gonna... No, you're not gonna enter. Well... They're like falling into the Gimle's structure. I bet these missiles are just gonna start... Sooner or later, they're just gonna accidentally leak into the hull and cause absolute havoc. Man, the explosives can barely like render. This is such like for 74% just... Oh, look at that! One of the Fafnirs is at the weak side again. Isn't that very nice? We're basically more holes than ship on this side now. I wonder where the AI core seems to be pretty intact though. It hasn't been hit a single time. Well, isn't that some luck? We're still kind of quarter speed, you know. I feel like I'll kind of know which direction this battle is gonna go, and the two Fafnirs can absolutely defeat the Gimle. They haven't really gone down much in health, and they are flanking it and doing all that stuff. I think the Fafnir is pretty good at not hit itself or other ships, you know. It's maneuverable enough to not collide every time, and properly set up too, so that's nice. But I think it's time we'll end this little video here. I think we've seen enough, and unfortunately the Fafnir class isn't as strong as the Gimle battleship. I can't say it's to my great surprise, but we'll have to put it up against the Mark III Gimle as well, and see if it can defeat the Mark III Gimle or not. I'm suspecting it's not gonna be able to do that either, but we'll have to see. Anyways, big thanks for watching, and of course do check out the main channel, the GMODISM channel, if you for some reason found the GMODIST channel first, and I'll see you in future videos as well. This is your host Eric of GMODISM Empire, and we're signing out.